What's something about ADHD that most people misunderstand?
Well, a lot of people think ADHD is just being hyper or being easily distracted, especially at a young age, but it's more complex than that. It affects emotional regulations, time management, memory, and even self-esteem. People don't always see the mental effort it takes just to stay on track or appear as normal.
Living through ADHD every day, how does it really affect your daily routine?
In many ways. Me, myself, I struggle to starting tasks even once when I do. It's like there's a wall between knowing what needs to be done, what needs to get done, and actually doing it. I also lose track of time easily, so I'll hyper-focus for hours or get completely derailed by distractions. Routines help, but they can fall apart quickly if something unexpected happens, which is quite normal when you have ADHD.
Talking about your daily routines, what kind of habits or tools have helped you manage your symptoms?
Setting reminders, flicking through my calendar every day, just making sure things are there. And sometimes, you go off track, it's crazy. Breaking tasks into smaller chunks really help. Using apps, setting alarms on your phone. I mean, if you look on my alarm clock, it's 6 a.m., 6:05. It's just loads of different alarm sets. And working quietly next to someone else can be surprisingly effective. Therapy and sometimes medication have been important parts of my support system.
So moving on just from yourself, how has living with ADHD affected your relationships?
Sometimes I interrupt people without meaning to, or forget to respond to texts, which can seem rude, even write things in different order. It's a bit mad. I've had to explain to close friends that it's not personal. In work settings, I can seem scattered or disorganized, even though I'm trying really, really hard, and in my mind, I believe it's organised, but in my mind it is, but in others it isn't. In reality, it probably isn't. And the people understand that and give grace makes a big, big difference. And there's a fair few.
What strengths have you discovered from your ADHD? Because people only point out the weaknesses that ADHD brings along. But then what are some of the strengths that it comes with?
I'm really, really creative. Even when you hear birds chirping and stuff, there's so many things going through my head. It's crazy. I can make connections between ideas that others might not see. You put something down on a table, you'll have this idea, but then I'll come up with an idea that'll, it'll be like just on a different level. Especially when I'm interested in something, I'll dive into it and learn things people may take 10 years to learn, and it'll take me half the time, not even half the time, in an instant. It's also made me more empathic towards others who struggle in invisible ways, if you know what I mean. Okay, Mr. Saqib, why do people overthink everything?
The reason people overthink is because they have too much information stored in their mind and they don't know how to process it. So they think about too many things at the same time that they have to do, and what they want to do in life, or what their jobs are on a daily basis, or if any situation arises with their family, friends, life situations, they constantly think about these things. Okay. And they dwell too much into the topic or subject, and they try to analyze everything from beginning to end. So what happens is, if they try to analyze something from beginning to end and something else happens, or they take on too many tasks, or they're thinking about other things too much, it leads to overthinking. And this can cause stressful situations or symptoms as well, like sleeping issues, eating issues, being erratic, being forgetful, being constantly active, running around too much, and it leads to other symptoms too, like stress and anxiety. So this is the reason why people overthink too much.
How can people stop negative thoughts?
So with negative thoughts, there's two different types of thinking negative. You either think negative about everything and everyone around you and your own world, or you think negative about what someone else has done to you. So if someone has done something negative to you, the best way that I overcome negative thinking is by just let it be. What's happened has happened. I try not to let anyone affect me in a negative way. If they've done something wrong or bad towards me, I try to understand why. If I can't, I'll just leave it. And I carry on with my day and routine, because I don't want to waste my time on negative people. So if people are thinking negative with life situations and their daily life or things around them, that means that they mentally processing things in a negative view. So if something's positive and something might be something that's good that's coming towards you, but you perceive it in a negative way, that's negative thinking. So you need to use your own skills and tools to force yourself to change your perspective on things. How can I change this from a negative to a positive? And even if it's a negative thing coming towards you, try and change it into a positive view. Find one thing that's positive about that situation, and you will always find one thing positive about that situation. So it's a habit that people have developed into thinking negative. So if it's a habit, you can change it into positive thinking.
Why does people's minds race at night?
So people think too much at night because they're not allowing their brain to communicate with them during the daytime. So your brain and your soul tries to talk to you throughout the whole day and night. It communicates with you, but you're not paying attention because you're too busy doing physical things. We're too busy running after a materialistic world, too busy running after the world. We're too busy scrolling social media. We're too busy trying to find out information about other people. We do irrelevant things on a daily basis, and our brain is constantly trying to tell us stuff. But because we're not paying attention to our brain says, okay, I'll talk to you later when you're resting. So when you go to bed, your brain thinks, okay, now I can speak to him, to the body. So then the brain and the soul communicate with you whilst you're trying to sleep. And this is the reason why people think too much whilst they're sleeping. So the best thing to do is during the daytime is try to allow yourself short breaks throughout the whole day, like a few minutes if you can, and just sit there in silence and just breathe. Do meditation. You can pray. You can do yoga. Just do something to remove yourself from doing physical activities and thinking too much about other things or what you got to do tomorrow. Just remove that completely. Sit still. If you can, go for a walk, go sit in a park and just be with yourself, and you will see that your mind and your soul will communicate with you. And just listen to yourself. And then at nighttime, it won't speak to you as much because it's spoken to you during the daytime.
Interesting. How can people clear their mind?
So the best way to clear one's mind, what I do is I write things down. So on a daily basis, everything that I need to do, I'll write it down. Any thoughts that I have that are excessive, I'll write them down. If I have dreams that I'm not sure about, I'll write them down. Just offload it from your head onto something physical. Your brain is like phone storage. When the storage of the phone gets too full, it starts to cause issues and problems on the phone. You can't store anything else. You can't take any photos. You can't upload any more information onto that phone. So what do? You clear some, you delete some. It's the same with your mind. If you have too much information in your head, you're unable to do daily activities that you normally would do. So I write things down. I write a lot on my phone. I journal things down. Throughout the whole day, I'm just writing notes and just clearing my head. And that's the best way to clear your head. I would also suggest going out for long walks. There's research that's been done by Stanford University. If you go for a 30-minute walk outside every day, it reduces your stress by 70%. So just by doing small things like this makes a huge impact on your health. So going for walks, going to the gym, exercising, being around positive and happy people, even doing yoga at home, going to workouts at home, doing stuff like these that are physical and positive, going swimming, for example. Anything that's positive in a physical way will help you offload from you thinking too much inside to doing something physical and fun and engaging, and that reduces your thinking pressure.
How can people control ADHD?
So with ADHD, so for example, I have 4 tasks that I need to do. Yeah. So I've got 4 tasks I need to do. So a normal person would see one task, what they've got to do, and do that task. They might think about the second task that they need to do, and then once they finish the first task, they'll jump into the second task, third and fourth. Person with ADHD will see 4 tasks, start working on the first one. They're not even halfway finished the first one. They're thinking about the second task. They will jump onto the third task and then dabble on the fourth task. So they will jump in between tasks. Now, this is because people who have ADHD, actually, it's a sign that their soul is more active than a normal person. So a person's soul is more active and their senses are more active than a normal person. That's all it is. There's nothing bad in ADHD. It just means that you're able and you have abilities to do and produce more and switch between one task or another. So multitasking. So a normal person will multitask, but it will take them a little bit longer. A person with ADHD can multitask, but very quickly. They can switch from one subject to another subject very quickly. Now, this is an ability that they have. It isn't something that's negative. It's actually a really positive thing. But you need to learn how to manage it. Once you use this as a tool, it can be very powerful. I'll tell you another thing. Some of the most successful people in the world have ADHD and anxiety. You'll be very surprised. Some of the people, like Steve Jobs, had anxiety. Elon Musk has ADHD. Richard Branson, largest company in the world, has ADHD. So they've managed to use their skill set and use the best possible techniques from them to advance in themselves and everything around them. So the best way to manage ADHD is by keeping all of your senses busy, because ADHD means that your senses are more active than other people's. So your sight, smell, sound, taste, touch, these senses are more active than other people around you. So they need to be busy constantly for you to be focused on one particular thing. So, for example, if I need to write something or do a homework or an essay or something like this, I get into writing something, but I'm also thinking about something else. And then my hand might be fidgeting on my phone or something like this at the same time. That's because I'm trying to do too many things at the same time. So people with ADHD need to keep all five senses busy. So when they are writing something, they should try to put headphones on, listen to calming sounds or music. Then they should keep their hand busy, the left hand busy with one of those fidget things, those metal and plastic fidgety things, or a stress ball. And then with their mouth, they can be chewing gum. So now all of your senses are working on something. So now you feel much more calmer to do the exercise and have much more greater focus in doing the exercise that you need to do, right? So sound is hearing, you're listening to music, you're physically doing something with your hand, so you're writing in the essay. And with the other hand, you're keeping that busy as well. And then with taste and smell, you're having a chewing gum or something in your mouth. So keep your senses busy in the activity that you want to do when you want to focus on something.
So on the other side of overthinking, there's mindfulness. So what is mindfulness and how does it help thinking?
So mindfulness is trying to calm your mind, body, and soul and try to align them together. It's all about balance. If one of them is off balance, it's a cause of destruction if left for a long time, because it leads to stress, then anxiety, panic attacks, and then depression. Like that's the root cause, unbalance. So you need to try and keep balance in everything that you do. Some stress is fine, some anxiety is fine. Like I thrive under anxiety. If I'm not under stress, I don't perform as well. If I get stressed, I'm performing 100%. Some of these athletes and the best like people in the world that you see that perform really well, they're under a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety to keep them at peak performance. So there are some people who can do things and they need to be calm and 100% relaxed and they'll do very well. There's other people that need to be stressed and need to be triggered some way to do really well. So mindfulness is trying to find that balance in between where you sit. Find out where you sit. If you're one of those people who like to be relaxed, then you can focus, or a little bit stressed and then you can focus. So find where your margin limit is and try and stick to that margin. So mindfulness, I suggest going out for walks, yoga, meditation, and praying. These are one of the main things that I suggest that you do on a daily basis to keep the balance afloat and ongoing.
So you mentioned there about stresses, but what about thoughts and how do they affect your emotions then?
So with thoughts, everything that you do, everything that you say, and everything that you see or hear affects your emotions. So for example, if I'm watching a sad movie all day, I'm going to become sad that day and the next day. If I'm watching something that's happy, motivated, then that day and the next day I'm going to feel happy and motivated because I'm absorbing information. Whether you like it or not, you're absorbing information constantly, right? Your brain, your mind, and your soul are absorbing information more than you can fathom. The rate that it's growing and expanding and it absorbs information, it's unbelievable because there's things that you can be around people and you can feel people's aura sometimes, right? If they have a good aura, if they have a bad aura. If you sit with amongst people who have good aura, your aura becomes positive and good as well. So if you hang around and spend time with negative people, you're going to become negative. And if you're with positive people, you're going to become positive. There's actually some research done recently, very new research, that if you spend time with people who have a higher IQ, your IQ will increase by 15%. But if you sit with people who have a low IQ, lower than yours, your IQ will drop 25%.
Makes sense.
So the other thing I want to speak about negative thinking and thoughts and emotions is that when you speak in a negative tone and way, and if you say negative words, it stays in your aura and it stays in your bubble. And then you become a negative person. And then you start speaking negative to other people. And that's the same with hearing things. That's why I'm very careful with what I watch and what I listen to. I specifically choose what I want to watch and listen to because I don't want any negative words subconsciously going into my brain because it does affect the way you think and act. At night when you're sleeping, everything that you've done in the daytime is uploading into your system, right? Yep. So you choose what you want. You want something positive to help you motivate and learn new things, or you want to just do nothing and sit around and just waste your life. So you got to choose which path you want to take, and you really got to put it into action and implement these things, and you really got got to use this as a skill set. Like I'm uploading, I'm at like a software. I need the latest software. I need the latest knowledge. I want to do more things. I want to do things better. I want to become better at myself. And that's how you advance.
So why can't people concentrate or focus?
That's because they have too much information in their mind. And when you have too much information, you're unable to focus and pinpoint something specific. So if I have 10 tasks that I need to do, I'm going to be jumping one task to the other, and I'll lose my focus and I'll lose my concentration very easily because I've got too much things to do. I've got to do this and I've got to do that, and then I've got to go here. So my mind is not 100% focused on this thing because I'm thinking what I'm going to do tomorrow. What am I going to do in half an hour? So I'm thinking these things constantly. And that's how people's brain and mind work sometimes. And the key way to overcome that is by writing things down on the calendar and blocking yourself out. For example, if I need to do a task, I'll block myself out on a calendar for 1 hour to do that task only specifically. Then on my notes, I'll break that task down into steps. So when the time comes for me to do that task, I'll go into my notes and then tick off the boxes one by one, what I've done and what I need to do. And then I purposefully block everything else off. So this is a skill set that you have to implement, and you have to really push yourself to focus on that specific thing.
How can people control their own mind?
Controlling the mind is a skill set, and it's very hard to do, but you can do it. You have to force yourself to do it. Like anything in life, like if you want to go to the gym, you go for a couple of days and you might miss a couple of weeks and then go back again. You got to be consistent. Consistency is key with every skill that you want to develop. To control the mind is to think about what you're thinking about, right? So just think to yourself, what am I doing? What am I thinking? Write that thing down. And at the end of the day, go through everything. And then you're going to see 70% of the time is just nonsense thinking. It was pointless to think that. It was pointless to do that. Why did I do this? Why did I do that? But that's good because you want that. Because next time that thing arises, you're going to think twice about thinking like that or doing that thing, right? So that eliminates 70%, and then that gives you 100% the next day to do something positive and focus on something positive. So you have to change the way you think and the way you act to control your mind. And if you start to think things that you don't want to think, bring yourself back and center your attention back to yourself. Breathing techniques. Have something physical in front of you. Do something to bring your attention back onto something that's right in front of you to the present moment. And that's how you control your own mind.
Underthink and I don't know, just confuse your mind. I don't know, like, what do you think of that?
So with overthinking, everything has a positive and a negative. Of course. Yeah. So with overthinking, if you use it in this skill set and technique that I've just taught you, then it's positive overthinking. So sometimes we need to overthink to decide what we're going to do, but in a positive way. So if you think for too long on a particular thing and you're just going backwards and forwards, that's overthinking. That's useless overthinking. But if you're thinking about something that you've done in the daytime, how to develop a skill or forget something that's irrelevant or focus on something that you want to do more of, that's positive thinking. And you should try to develop that skill more, because overthinkers, what they tend to do is they think negative, right? Because overthinking usually leads to a negative route. What if I do this? What if I do that? But what if this happens and what if that happens? You need to remove the what ifs, because it's the what ifs that consume your energy and waste your day, because you're thinking about what if I change that decision I made yesterday? Well, you can't do nothing about it today. The only thing you can do today is learn from that mistake you made yesterday. How can I learn from it? How can I change it? How can I develop it? Right? These are the 3 questions that you need to ask yourself and then move forward from there. So to do this, you need to analyze your thinking patterns. You need to understand what's going wrong, what's going right, what do I need to remove out of my life, and what do I want in my life. It's like your phone. If you got too much storage on your phone and you've got too many things that are useless, you're going to delete them and remove them, because it's just taking up time, energy, and you're going to end up spending more money on a bigger phone, bigger memory, etc. So it's just a waste of space. So you remove that waste of space and you input things that you want to input.
Let's say, obviously, knowing what's wasting your time in life and what you know that's negative, but it's something not allowing you to remove it. I mean, what would your advice be on that? Because like all of us in this room, we know what's negative, we know what's positive, we know what's right, we know what's left, we know what's straight, we know what's backwards. But when there's something holding you back in life, which you don't know where it is, what sort of advice would you give to a certain someone or, a human being, whatever, in
that context?
Yeah, in that context, if you understand.
Yeah.
Your purpose in life and your goal and your mission needs to be strong in your head. What do you want? Focus it, visualize it, feel it, and then make step by step how to get there. Once you do this, anything else that's going to come into your way, you'll remove it, because it's an obstacle. Because your goal, your mission is that thing, that object, that vision, that mission, right? So if you want a new car, for example, you visualize it, you feel it, and you know you need to save money and you need to work, right? Someone comes along and says, okay, let's go out for the weekend. Let's go on a holiday. You say, you think twice. Should I go on holiday and spend that money, or should I buy that car? What's beneficial for me? What's going to help me? You're going to say no to the holiday. I want that car. Your need of that end goal needs to be stronger than anything else. So you have to visualize and feel it of the thing that you want most in life, and you have to really crave for it. You have to be obsessed about it. You really need to crave that thing. You really need to work day and night for that thing. I want that thing, whatever it is. It could be a job, it could be a house, it could be a car. Anything that you want in life, it could be going to the gym, whatever it is. Something small, something big, it does not matter. But to you, it needs to be so strong, the feeling of having that thing. It doesn't matter what comes in your way, you're going to push it aside because I want that thing. I need that thing. That's more precious to me than wasting my time over there.
And something that I recommend with that is when it comes to those goals, ask yourself the why 5 times. Why do I want to get this new car? Okay. Maybe that I want to attract new women. Why do I want to attract new women? Oh, I want to get married one day. Why do I want to get married? Because I want a loving family. Okay, why do you want a loving family?
Okay, yeah.
Then once you have that, then you get to the core of yourself as well. And you see your inner soul and what it desires and what it needs from you. And that will help you achieve your mission as well.
And is that one of your goals in life, finding women?
Having a family.
Lovely. Well done.
What's one big problem men face today, and how can we fix it?
One of the biggest issues that I see men deal with nowadays is a deep lack of purpose. It's not just about setting goals, it's about not knowing why they're getting up in the morning. And without a clear sense of purpose, men tend to drift. They numb themselves with distractions, they avoid responsibilities, and often that makes them feel really hollow inside. But historically, a man's identity was rooted in his responsibility, whether that's to his family or his work or his community. But now, many young men have been told that their presence isn't necessary and that their masculinity is something to suppress. And the fix is reclaiming their purpose. And I want the young men to ask, what am I holding on to? What am I building? What am I protecting? And who am I providing for? So once a man can answer that, then he can orient himself like a compass and he becomes driven and fulfilled as well. Not just productive, but meaningful as well.
So do you think men are out of touch with their feelings, and why?
It's absolutely true. This is a growing trend that men are more disconnected from their emotions, but not in the way that most people think. So men, they feel deeply, but they just don't have that space or the language to express themselves in a way that feels safe or useful. And we tell men to open up, but that feels really unnatural for a man. Men process things better, shoulder to shoulder, through shared experiences or actions or challenges, and through camaraderie with others as well, rather than face-to-face vulnerability. Our culture doesn't really foster that, and what men need is more. They don't need more talking circles. They need tasks with meaning, with mentors who guide, and environments where emotion can be processed through purpose.
How can community or having a mentor help men grow?
So community and mentoring are critical. Historically, men learned by doing and by watching other men do as well. So you had your fathers, your uncles, elderly people, the craftsmen, they were our guides. But today, many men grow without that masculine presence anymore, and mentorship tends to fill that void. It offers not just advice, but example as well. And a mentor doesn't just tell you how to lead or how to live or how to love. They actually show you how. And community, on the other hand, as opposed to mentorship, community gives that brotherhood that man craves. It provides challenges, accountability, and encouragement as well. And isolation is one of the biggest killers of masculine spirit. But a community reminds a man that he's not alone in the fight. He gets tested, he gets sharpened and uplifted. And if you want to grow as a man, you need to be around other men that are also looking to grow. Why do you think there's these online platforms now? There's been a surge of online platforms, of communities like Andrew Tate's War Room and Fresh and Fit's Castle Club. The problem with these online communities is that they're very unpersonalized and you can easily get lost and not benefit from them at all. So finding the people in the community, that will be far more productive.
What's the biggest mistake men make in relationships today?
So too many men give away commitment. They give away their time, their resources and their energy without acquiring anything in return. They mistake being agreeable or being nice for being loving, but that doesn't inspire respect and it breeds entitlement. Men must learn to reward good feminine behavior and not chase validation. And masculinity thrives when it leads, it protects and provides with discernment, not without. When a man has a mission, as well as all the decisions that he's made to back him up, a woman can feel safe following that lead. And the only side effect of that, he needs to set the boundaries though. And the biggest shift is to stop trying to be liked. As soon as you try to be liked, you're going to fail. Because the first thing that you need to do, you need to start being worthy of respect. And that changes everything. The only side effect of gaining that respect is the loss of humility. So you need to be able to balance both humility and respect at the same time. So you've got to be able to balance these different states at the same time.
If a man said to you, I feel stuck, but don't know what to do or why, what would you ask him first?
I'd probably ask, what did you stop doing that gave your life structure and meaning in the first place? And often men feel stuck because they've abandoned something essential in their life, whether it's their physical training, whether it's their spiritual discipline or creative output, or even their brotherhood as well. Sometimes they've lost their friends. From there, I'd probably dig a little bit deeper and then ask them, who are you responsible for and what outcome are you moving towards as well? Feeling stuck is often a signal of internal drift, so you're just carrying on without realizing it, and it's a loss of vision as well. So when we reassign a man with a mission, even a small one, he starts to feel the momentum again, and he doesn't need motivation at that point, he needs direction. And that's something that I've been working on recently actually. It's thepathofmen.com, which offers a free AI mentor 24/7, totally confidential, so you can use that and then talk to it, tell you your problems, and it will help guide you. And then also the website, we also have some coaching if you enjoyed using the free AI mentor.
Why do women feel anxious?
Wow, that's a really open-ended question. So many women struggle with anxiety and burnout, even when it seems like they're doing everything right. It's because they've been sold an impossible dream. And modern culture told women, you can have it all. You can have a career, you can have family, you can have freedom, beauty, peace, independence, all these things. But what they didn't say is that trying to do it all at once more than likely will break you. And many women are juggling full-time jobs, home responsibilities, societal expectations, all while being told to be effortlessly happy. And after all, exhausting to do all that. Anxiety and burnout come from carrying too many roles without any rest or permission to choose what matters most. The antidote is not just self-care, but it's soul care. It's pausing to ask, what is truly important to me? Not my culture, not to social media, not to my family or friends, but to me. And that's what I think will help with the anxiety.
What's one hidden thing women carry that holds them back?
Women today carry a massive invisible burden, and that's the pressure of conflicting cultural narratives. So they're told, be strong, but then also be soft and feminine. They're told, be independent, but also nurturing. Chase success, but then also prioritize love, for example. So these mixed messages create internal chaos. What helps with that is slowing down self-reflection. Asking yourself, what is my vision for my life? And what values matter to me the most? Once a woman stops trying to please every cultural expectation of whether it's their society or whether it's their friends, she can then begin to live with intention and not pressure. And she can finally exhale and walk her own path.
If you had a daughter, what's one piece of advice you'd give her?
Okay, so this is a little bit more personal since it's my daughter, so take it.
Have you got a daughter?
No, I don't have a daughter.
Alright.
At the moment.
Okay.
Inshallah one day. So what I would tell her, you're not going to be remembered for your job title. Your deepest legacy will come from your home, your heart, and the relationships you build. And culture will try to convince you that your value in your productivity or your accolades. When you look back in life, it's the love you gave, it's the family you nurtured, and it's the faith that you lived that will matter most. So start there, build a strong home first, and then bring your gifts to the rest of the world, not the other way around.
What's the biggest mistake women make in relationships today?
Many women have been taught to prioritize happiness over duty. And they're told, if it doesn't feel good, then something must be wrong. But lasting relationships are built on commitment and not convenience. Go to anybody and you'll see that their marriage flourishes because of their commitment to one another. And women are also taught to demand their rights without being taught the responsibilities that come with them. And many have no idea what men truly want, but they're listening to media about what men want and not the men themselves. So the fix is to understand the masculine, learn what inspires leadership and devotion and love in a man, all the things that you want in a man. How can you derive that and embody those traits and draw that out of him? And it's not about submission. Many women find this word triggering, to obey or to submit. It's about cooperation. But don't expect the same thing in return, because you don't want to draw your masculine traits out of a woman. So it's about creating that harmony instead of competition.
What's one deep question a woman can ask herself to begin healing?
Number one question that I would ask, that they should be asking themselves, is whose voice am I truly living by? Is it her own? Is it her mother's? Is it siblings, her friends, her social medias, even a college professor? Until a woman identifies the narrative guiding her, she can't reclaim her autonomy. So start from there, and from that awareness comes power, clarity, and peace. Inner work begins when a woman chooses truth over trend. Her truth, her path. And the AI mentor that I created on thepathofwomen.com starts with questions like these. And then for those who want to take it further, there's also counseling sessions on there as well.